Hi everyone, my name is Kate. I work as a freelancer since 2008. For the past couple of years, I've been working primarily with the customers from the US and Europe via the service named Upwork. On this channel, I share my experience, how I work with my customers, and how I organize my work. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. In today's video, I would like to talk about how a total newbie can get the first job on Upwork. So you have watched one of my previous videos about how to get your profile approved, and you have managed to get yourself a profile at Upwork. Nice job. Now the next big question is how you can get your first job, how you can get your first customer there. So in this video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how you can do this and a couple of useful tips that can also be helpful. So watch to the end to know the details. This is the first and the most important tip that I'm going to share in this video. The most typical mistake that many freelancers do when they only start offering their services is that they offer what they can do best instead of what the market really needs. For example, you can be a very good illustrator painting images of cars or vehicles or anything else. But if there are only 2 such projects posted at Upwork per month, your chances to close either of them would be minimal. So before you even start, before you even create yourself a profile, do your homework and study what projects there are. So here is the step-by-step guide on what you should do. First, find out which projects have been posted at Upwork for the past month. Make a broad research. Do not narrow down your search to the topic that you focus upon. Search for some broad keywords such as writer, illustrator, musician, whatever. Depending on which area you operate in, make the broad search. And write out all the projects that you can find where you can apply. Next, when you have written down all of them, create your own categorization for all these projects. For example, if you want to be a writer, your categories may be as follows: fiction, food and cooking, medicine, software, academic research, etc. And of course, categorize all the projects you have found accordingly. Next, for each of the categories, specify the following. How many new projects there have been over the past month? Approximate budgets. See which budgets customers specify in the projects. Then, how difficult it is to enter this specific niche. For example, is any specific equipment needed for that? Do you need to develop any extra skills that are difficult to obtain, etc.? And finally, if there are repeated orders, if you can see the same customer posting similar projects again and again. Now, once your analysis is complete, select your category. That's it. So it's obvious. Select the category where the budgets are high, where there are repeated orders, and if it is easy for you to enter this specific category. The next tip is to create a specialized profile. Upwork allows doing this. You can create a specialized profile which would be designed specifically to highlight your skills in a particular area. So create a detailed description of your experience. Highlight your skills that are relevant to your niche. If you do not have enough items to place into your portfolio, just spend some time and create a few. I have already talked in detail about this subject in one of my previous videos. See the link below. And although in that video I was focusing on writers, basically the strategy is applicable to any area, whichever specialization you select. Now, tip number 3. Create a template for your cover letter. Templates are really good, especially when there are many projects where you can apply. because it may be really tiring writing the same stuff over and over again. So create a template, but don't overuse it. Remember that you should always adjust your template to the customer's needs. So read attentively what the customer specifies in the project description. To sell your services, you should be not in your own world, but in your customers. So read attentively what they require, what kind of skills they need. Do they ask to specify your availability, your price list, or anything else, anything specific? So read all of this and write your answer accordingly. Rephrase the customer's words and describe why you are the best fit for this project. Add a few samples of your work that would be relevant, that would be similar to what the customer needs. And also at the end, ask a few questions about the customer's project to initiate the conversation. In fact, writing a proposal is a separate piece of art, and it's worth devoting another separate video for that. So I will surely do it in the future. Now, tip number 4, avoid the low price segment. Typically, such projects can be divided into 2 main categories. The first one implies customers with low budgets. They usually specify it right in the description of the project. They look for freelancers with the lowest rates. You can be the greatest specialist in your area. You can create awesome images. You can write detailed, qualified texts, but it wouldn't matter to them. The only thing that they care about is price, because their budgets are limited. So you will have no chance to win such a project, and this applies not only to newbies, but to seasoned freelancers as well. So avoid such projects at all means. The second category implies activities that don't require any specific skills. For example, convert 100 images into a specific format. Write 100 descriptions of products for an online shop. Create an Excel table with God knows how many contacts of potential customers in a specific niche from LinkedIn, etc., etc. Moreover, such projects mean not only low budgets, but also high competition. Be sure that an hour will pass after the project is posted and 20 to 50 freelancers will be already there. Tip number 5, close the customer for a call. Since you're a newbie and you don't have any customers' reviews to showcase your expertise and your worthiness, getting your customer to have a live conversation with you would really help. Once a customer shows interest in your work, if he replies to your message, try to arrange a call. Because during a call, it is much more convenient to discuss all the details. It is much more convenient to show your expertise and just switch on your charisma and win your customer like this. So you can tell him on the call that although you're a newbie, you're quite passionate about this industry and you can be a greatest fit for this project. Also note that Upwork may ban you for sharing any outside contacts. So always use the feature that Upwork offers. Always use the calling service that is included into your messaging box. Tip number 6, be fast. Respond to the new projects as soon as they appear. The faster you send a proposal, the higher will be your chances that the customer will see your proposal and that he will pay attention to it. The chances for a customer to notice your application will be much higher, and so will be your chances to close a deal. And now the final tip, do not procrastinate. Sending a proposal to a customer, trying to sell your services to a person you have never met before may be a really stressful job, especially if you have never done this before, if you're a newbie. And it may be very tempting to start polishing your portfolio, creating new items for your portfolio, doing anything else apart from applying to new jobs. Put your worries aside. Just ask yourself, what is the most awful thing that may happen once you send your application? What's the most scary thing? In fact, there's nothing to fear about. Most likely your application will be simply ignored. I've been freelancing at Upwork for a long while already. I have a good portfolio. I have many many customers' feedback. I have a great profile. And even with that, I only get one customer out of 10 to respond to my proposals. So when they respond to your proposal, just do not be afraid of this. Do not be afraid of sending your applications. Unless you start doing this, you will just never get your first client at Upwork. In fact, getting your first customer as a freelancer is not as stressful as to start responding to different projects. My first customer at Upwork, I remember, required writing a 200-word article reviewing top 5 books about cryptocurrencies. The cost for that article was $25 or so, quite low budgets. The funniest thing, that he never showed up after I submitted my job. So at the end, I just had to contact support to get my funds, and it all turned out to be not as scary as I imagined that. Well, I hope you have found this video useful. Do not procrastinate, just go and get your first job at Upwork. I believe that you can do this. If you have found this video useful, feel free to share it, to subscribe to my channel, and press that like and notification buttons. See you soon, bye!